Quick background. Cool. Hi there, folks. I'm Ricci Queens, the creative director of Song BN and also an artist. Like in my last project, Black Label, if I just explain to you the way the track listing works, it was we had Brut Diet. So we started off with a drink and it ended with a drink called Cheers. Between that, we have 14 songs, right? And between the 14 songs, we have songs that I'm quite playful on, where I'm just like enjoying myself. Then there's songs like Pirates Vision, which also has a visual. And in Pirates Vision, we actually I talk about my history growing up, because as a young black male in London, I was brought up in Hackney, right? And Hackney over the last, let's give it 15 years or so, has, I won't say changed, it's grown dramatically. And it's great to see that growth, because years back, Hackney wasn't the same thing. You know, we was running around in the streets doing the craziest of things. Like, you'd be surprised how one road looked a few years back. But now it's a good thing, because, you know, we've had an influx of different cultures come into Hackney, right? And this has also not changed my perspective, but enlightened me, should I say, or allowed me to embrace new things. So with me meeting new people every single day, it has allowed me to put that into my music. Also remember where I'm coming from at the same time, because I feel like if you can make it on the streets of Hackney during that time, you can make it anywhere, realistically. So when I come to people, I come to people with quite a genuine aspect about me. I don't like to, like I said before, there's like a no bullshit factor. And I feel like that's helped me a lot in my music, because in Pirates Vision I was quite blunt on not certain things I've done, but just the lifestyle that I've lived, the lifestyle that I've grown from. So at the same time, I've put that into my music, because I'm not going to take that away from myself. That's my story. So hence why within Black Label, I've been able to talk about these different things. I've had a song called The Cool Part 1 and The Cool Part 2. And The Cool Part 1 actually talks about racism, social oppression, but more so directly to the student protests of 2009. Not 2010, that was riots. 2009 was when everyone got killed down in Westminster, because we were trying to protest for the EMA. They were trying to take away the EMA that year, and they were going to raise the tuition fees the following year. So, you know, we protested for that. Kettled for about 6 hours in the cold weather in like some obscure month, like November or some shit. So it wasn't the greatest of conditions. But at the same time, I've been able to use that in my music, because I'm trying to get it through. Hip hop is a musical art form, right? And then you have rap, and rap is the method of that communication. So I use hip hop to deliver my message, but I don't stay within the boundaries of hip hop. Because if you look at hip hop, like, the boundaries are quite limitless, because every time you think of hip hop and you give it like a definition, there's always some artist that comes in and he's like, I'm doing this, and we brand it hip hop, but it's not exactly the hip hop that we associate with in our definition. Because hip hop was grown from, hip hop started from like, okay, cool, you have, in New York, you had schools, right? And you had schools where all of them had musical lessons, like piano lessons, like fine art lessons. This is really like, we're talking in the 80s, 70s, right? And then came in with, you know, budget cuts and everything, and students weren't able to actually use these facilities no more. And this is what it brought into the streets, right? So then you have ciphers for battling. Ciphers for battling just became through people would be on the street and they'd be like, let me test your knowledge. That was a slang thing, let me test your knowledge. And then they go back and forth and they be in the lyrical content. So hip hop came from the streets because it had to come from the streets. Like, no one just was on the streets and was like, yeah, let's start this thing called hip hop. It was more of a rebellion against the status quo. Hence why you have hip hop artists that don't make music for the radio per se, because they know the radio has never catered exactly to hip hop, but they know they embrace hip hop once something is popular, right? So within my facet, I like to use hip hop as the method of my communication. Aside from fashion, because I believe I'm a multi-dimensional can't be pigeonholed into one exact thing unless you've seen what I've done. So I just like to leave traces of my history, which is products. So we're talking my music, Black Label, the Graduate Fashion Show. So it's more so, I like people to join me on this experience so that you can see where I go next, rather than saying, yeah, I'm a hip hop artist, a fashion guy. After Tupac and Biggie, and then after, let's say, London, like a couple years back, you know, I think everyone's tired of doing things that don't benefit them in the long run. The only reason why beef and hip hop are so stigmatized together is because hip hop is probably one of the only genres, apart from rock, to be fair, you know, one of the only genres where if they have a problem, they'll be very vocal about it in their songs, not out in philanthropy. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. Because you can be vocal about things, you know, in a rally, in things that happen around you, but not many people put it into the content of their song. Chat going over there, just sign the check. Don't you know you fucking with a vet? Colonel Q, that's 4-2, throwing up the set live in 92, but since 91, somewhere in London, a star was born. You can tell by my luggage I don't belong. A rolling stone, I'm moving on. The world's my pond, hence why we pebble rocks and skip the cops. Head home to watch my prop go along. She washed my locks while I like that bong with reruns of Mr. Selfridge John. Got me feeling like as if I can't go wrong. Living life, ooh, that's it, that's what you're getting at.